And first, we're gonna talk about what is actually the definition of the Edwards Personal Preference Schedule or APPS. The Edwards Personal Preference Schedule is a self-report, which is the forced choice personality inventory that measures the relative importance of 15 psychological needs or motives within an individual. It was developed in 1953 as a non-projective objective test, which means it used structured questions with fixed responses rather than ambiguous stimuli. The unique forced choice format pairs statements of equal social desirability to reduce a test-taker's tendency to answer based on what is socially acceptable rather than what is personally true. This produces an EEPS measurement, which assesses how a person ranks their own needs relative to each other rather than against a broader population. And how it works and how it can be applied. It's assessments that build on forced choice, which is instead of rating each item independently on a scale, or like a Likert scale, respondent must select one statement as most true and another as at least true, form a set of generally positive options. And then the scores are relative to the individual, meaning they compare the person traits against themselves to determine their unique profile. And then EEPS scores often add up to a constant total for each respondent because points allocated to one option cannot be allocated to another. And the advantage of it was first is reduced social desirability bias, which is because all options are equally appealing, respondents are less likely to distort their answers to appear more favorable. And second is individualized focus. It's ideal for tracking an individual's development and for understanding their relative strengths and weaknesses, such as in career interests or leadership development. And then the third is difficulty in faking, which is the forced choice natures make it harder for individuals to manipulate their responses compared to normative scales. And the disadvantage of it was first, it's intra-individual comparisons only, which is hypnotic measures are best for comparing a person to themselves over time, not for comparing scores between different individuals, which is each person was hold their particularly same, which is cannot be differentiated. And then the second is data analysis complexity. Scores are dependent on each other, which violates assumptions on classical test theory and makes traditional statistical analysis like correlations difficult to interpret. And the third is limited use in selections because scores cannot be compared across people. Exhaustive tools are inappropriate for pre-employment screening or selections where comparative data is needed. So, what is the best time for using APPS measurement inventory? Is the first, it's used for self-discovery and coaching in order to help individuals understand their own personality, values, and interests. Second is tracking progress, which is to monitor an individual's development over time, such as in educational or personal development settings. And the third is team building, which is facilitate self-awareness within a team by highlighting individual preferences and also their strengths and their weaknesses. And the next, we're gonna talk about the SSCT, or stands for the Sex Sentence Completion Test, which is a proactive psychological assessment developed by William Sachs, designed to uncover unconscious aspects of an individual's psyche. It is similar in concept to other sentence completion tests, but is distinguished by its specific structure and interpretative framework. So, what is the functions of this inventory test? It's called the accent and completion test. It is for provide insights into a person's unconscious or semi-conscious attitudes, like fears and beliefs regarding four key areas, which is family, sex, interpersonal relationships, and also self-concept. And how the CCT is the sex sentence completion test is works. And first is incomplete sentences, which is the test presents 60 incomplete sentences, such as my mother or I wish I could lose the fear of. It's like incomplete sentence to coach some respondent to respond based on their personal references. So it's just embracing their inner thoughts to complete the sentence. And then the second is the spontaneous completion. Individuals are instructed to complete the sentence with the first thing that comes to mind without overthinking their response. And then the third is response analysis. A clinician then analyzes the complete sentence to identify patterns, attitudes, and emotional responses. And then about the scoring and interpretation, responses are often rated on a scale, example 0 to 2, or in order to gauging the degree of emotional disturbance in each of the four key areas. And how to applicate the SSCT or sex sentence completion test is first is personality assessment. The SSCT helps uncover a person's underlying personality structure and how they perceive themselves and the world around them. And second is identifying disturbance. So it reveals areas where an individual may be experiencing significant emotional conflict or disturbance, such as in their relationships, family members, or their self image. And the third is clinical insight. The insights gained from the SSCT can help clinicians understand a client's psychological makeup and guide therapeutic interventions. And last is attitude exploration, which the test provides information about an individual's fears, goals, and overall outlook on life through their sentence completions.